Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Yes, a good afternoon to you, wherever you may be located. Today, the 15th day of April, year 2024. Solutions 93.9 FM is the station. And of course, Political Update is the show. My name is AYODEJI, AJISOPE, presenting. Yes, thank you so much for staying with us. I bring you a political update today, Monday the 15th day of April. Yes, political update as the mandate of the show is. Of course, we will also be bringing you political roundup across Nigeria's landscape. Political update today will not be limited to Nigeria alone. It is certainly going to take us into the global space because some of these things that are happening in the global space have implications, and I mean direct implications for us. So we're going to be doing, Nigerian space, and then we're going to be doing the global space. I'll be back shortly, but before I go, let me tell you and give you an insight what we're going to be doing in the Nigerian space. Today, we're going to be talking about the security breach in Ibadan that occurred on Saturday. We're going to be taking a look at it, the implications, how did it occur, what are the details, and who is saying what. And of course, from the global space, we're going to be talking about the Israeli-Arab conflict. Well, it started out as the Hamas, not even the Palestinians, Hamas-Israel war, but now it is escalating. Iran has gotten involved, and Iran over the weekend launched a barrage of ballistic missiles and drone attacks against Israel. And of course, there are direct implications in the Nigerian space. I'll be back shortly with details.
This is the political roundup. Oyo State government has described Saturday's invasion of the state secretariat in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, by self-acclaimed Yoruba Nation agitators as an act of terrorism. The State Commissioner for Information, Dotun Oyelade, who spoke with journalists in Ibadan today, condemned the act, stating that there are better ways of agitation other than craving for bloodshed. Meanwhile, Oyo State Commissioner of Police, Adebola Hamzat, during the parade of no fewer than 21 suspected Yoruba Nation agitators, including a female and 2 elderly men in their 60s today, has called on parents in Oyo State to prevail over their children against being used as agents of anarchy.
I would like to use this medium to remind the criminally minded in Oyo State that Oyo State is home of many responsible, hospitable, and extremely intelligent individuals. Under my watch, it will not be reduced to a playground for the criminally minded and obviously misguided individuals or groups. To this end, while the security architecture of the command has been immediately reviewed to enable it tackle the present-day realities, the Oyo State Police Command enjoins residents to be generous with information and cooperate with the command in a bid to rid the state of criminal elements whose instinct is to propagate their separatist agendas. If you see something, say something, and the police will immediately do something.
In Kwara State, the state governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, has reacted to the statement credited to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Publicity Secretary, Olusegun Adewara, where the governor was accused of governing Kwara State via WhatsApp messages and neglecting the immediate concerns of the Kwaran people because of his interest in the Lagos-Calabar Road project. Reacting to the allegations, Abdulrazak, in a statement made available to newsmen, described PDP's statement as cooked-up lies and a misconception. Let's move to Ondo State, where the leaders and members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Igbotako, Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State have endorsed Senator Jimoh Ibrahim as their preferred candidate for the November governorship election. The chairman of the APC, Igbotako Ward 1, Honorable Adebolujo Adedoyin, who spoke to newsmen after a meeting, said they would take the campaign for Ibrahim to other local government areas, adding that Ibrahim has proven to be the right leader to lead the Sunshine State. And away from the southwest, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, has been suspended by members of his ward, the Ganduje ward in the Dawakin Tofa local government area of Kano State. The Executive Council of Ganduje ward, led by Harun Agwanjo, who disclosed this during a press briefing in Kano today, said the former governor has to clear his name of corruption allegations regarding his long-standing dollar case. And that's the political roundup.
Sacrifice fún rẹ̀ pé òun á ṣe pé òun ò ní gbé gbàgbọ́ mọ́ but òun á ṣe olórí adélé kí gbogbo ẹ̀ lè lọ déédé kó lè lọ létòlétò fáwọn indigenous people ní wá sovereign people ní wá ethnic nationalists ní wá wípé ká kúrò nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà a dẹ̀ ti kúrò ní November 2022 ní èní tó jẹ́ ọjọ́ 12 oṣù kẹrin 2024 ìyẹn jẹ́ April 12 2024 ìpè ní èní pé ká kúrò pé ayé sọlẹ̀ sórí ìsọmi tí ò rí pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ta sánmọ̀ bí ẹni taṣọ pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi dá ọ̀run méje lẹ̀ méje ayé àti ogun tó wà ní ẹ̀ pátápátá tó ní ohun òṣùpá ìràwọ̀ kó máa ṣe ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé òkúta iyebíye kó máa ṣe ìmọ́lẹ̀ ìsàlẹ̀ èmi Modúpẹ́ Ntrabiola mo proclaim sovereignty Democratic Republic of the Yorùbá ní èní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ọjọ́ 12 oṣù kẹrin 2024 láti èní lọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba tiẹ̀ ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlú tiẹ̀ ó become newest nation in the world káàkiri àgbáyé Yorùbá ó dorílẹ̀-èdè tẹnikẹ́ni ò takò tẹnikẹ́ni ò sọ pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ti wá sí ìmúṣẹ àṣẹ tọ́lọ́run fi dá ogun tó dá tó ní kó máa bẹ ó sì ń bẹ àṣẹ náà ọmọ yorùbá ní èní democratic republic of the yorùbá ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba adélé ó ní sovereignty ẹ̀ ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ agbára ìjọba ẹ̀ láti èní lọ. èmi Modúpẹ́ Onítìrí Abíọ́lá mo tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ọmọ yorùbá indigenous yorùbá descent ni mí ọmọ yorùbá ni mí opó olóògbé MKO Abíọ́lá ni mí ọmọ Onítìrí Èkó ni mí pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ń jẹ́ èmi ni pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ń jẹ́ àìkú pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ń jẹ́ àìrí pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ń jẹ́ àìní ìpẹ̀kun pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fi ń jẹ́ àìní òpin pẹ̀lú agbára ìyìn ògo ọlá ọlọ́run ní èní mo proclaim ilẹ̀ yorùbá mo issue proclamation notification publication annunciation pronunciation sovereignty democratic republic of the yorùbá láti èní lọ democratic republic of the yorùbá ó di nation ó ní sovereignty ẹ̀ ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe ìjọba ẹ̀ láti èní lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe rí o kò yí padà. àwa sọ pé gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè káàkiri àgbáyé wípé kán mọ̀ wípé democratic republic of the yorùbá is a new nation newest nation in the world number 55 in africa. àwa indigenous people mo kí wa pé a kú oríire ọjọ́ òní nítorí ọlọ́run ṣàánú fún wa torí ọlọ́run àánú ẹ̀ dúró títí nínú ayé wa àárẹ̀ àánú gbà a ṣe declaration níjọ́ sunday november 20 2022 a ṣe reclamation níjọ́ sunday december 18 2022 pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú àánú ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú ìjẹ́kan ọlọ́run a ṣe proclamation ní èní friday april 12 2024 pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn ọlọ́run ó ti wá sí ìmúṣẹ o ìjọba délé ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ kò sí tó yí padà mọ́ ọmọ yorùbá ò bójú wẹ̀yìn mọ́ wájú ni òkè là ń lọ lórí ilẹ̀ alàyè yìí pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn ọlọ́run àti ní sovereignty wa àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba wa ọlọ́run ti ṣàánú fún wa àti rí àánú gbà. mo congratulate gbogbo ọmọ yorùbá o gbogbo indigenous yorùbá people pátápátá IYP ti democratic republic of the yorùbá mo kí wa a kú oríire ọlọ́run ṣàánú fún wa àárẹ̀ àánú gbà ká máa ran ọlọ́run nígbà gbogbo ká máa fọpẹ́ ká máa fìyìn fọlọ́run gbogbo ìgbà tá a bá ti ń rí àwọn nǹkan tó dáa tọ́lọ́run ṣe fún wa ẹ jẹ́ ká máa yin ọlọ́run ká máa fọpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run ní gbogbo ìgbà ṣẹlá ọmọ yorùbá IYP àǹfààní tó pọ̀ gan-an a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí ní kíákíá oríṣiríṣi oore nǹkan tó dáa. lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ àwọn kankan wà tó yẹ pé tí àwọn ọmọ IYP tán bá gbé wọ ilẹ̀ yorùbá duty free ni o gbogbo ẹ̀ la ṣì máa ṣàlàyé gbogbo bá ọmọ yorùbá ṣe máa rí owó láti fi ṣe business láti fi ṣoko gbogbo ẹ̀ la ṣì máa ṣàlàyé gbóore tó pọ̀ ó ń bọ̀ fáwọn ọmọ yorùbá torí àti ní control over resources.
Yes, if you're wondering who that is, not just the sound of the voice, but of course there is a pictorial, a video recording of that broadcast declaring the Democratic Republic of the Yoruba by Dupe Abiola Onitiri on Friday, the 12th of April, year 2024. And Saturday morning at the State Secretariat, and of course you know the significance of Ibadan in the political configuration of Western Nigeria, Western region, and of course the Nigerian Union. You know Ibadan is the political, not just the political, but the intellectual and cultural capital of the Western region of Nigeria. So on Saturday morning, the people of Ibadan woke up to those who called and those who the government calls self-styled Yoruba Nation agitators. They surfaced at the House of Chiefs and they tried to hoist what was called the Yoruba Nation flag. If you go online, you will see this broadcast by Dupe Onitiri Abiola. You'll say it's a lengthy thing. She did it in Yoruba, and it was, of course, projected on the screen in English. Big question is, and we'll take that when we'll come back. Big question. What are the implications of this? Is this the way? Is it for real? Of course, we have had denials from the one they call Sunday Igboho, Sunday Adeyemo. Yes, one of the leading Yoruba Nation agitators, you recall during the Fulani herders and all of that brouhaha. He was a leading agitator. You remember Professor Banji Akintoye? He actually went to the United Nations with a proposal for the Yoruba nation, and it was actually approved, accepted. Let me use the appropriate word. Accepted for consideration by the United Nations agency for self-determination. And what they are saying is self-determination. That the Yoruba nation as a nationality qualifies under the United Nations provisions for self-determination. So what we saw on Saturday, does he fall in line? Does he align with what we have seen earlier on? Is this a solo run? Is this, a move by the hardline faction? You know, there was always, we saw this in 1998 too, 99, when OPC, the founder of OPC, a medical doctor, naturally, a civil man, but we saw a faction of OPC led by Gani Adams becoming the militant wing and actually hijacking the entire OPC from that medical doctor that formed OPC. And things have never been the same again with OPC. Well, Gani Adams is not just only the leader of OPC now. Of course, he's also the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. Yes, what happened? That security breach in Ibadan on Saturday. I'll be back shortly. Yes, as I said earlier on, is this just one breakaway militant wing, or what is it? Well, I spoke extensively to those who are involved in Yoruba agitation, and I spoke with Dr. Victor Taiwo, the leader of Oodua Redemption Alliance. I will not want to put on air what he said. I will rather paraphrase what Dr. Victor Taiwo said. Dr. Victor Taiwo described Dupe Onitiri Abiola as someone who has been on the fringes of extremity since the days that the struggle started. Yes, he didn't deny the fact that the woman had been a part of the struggle, but that the woman had always been on the fringes of extremity since the days that the struggle started, and that is way back in 1993. You will recall that in 1993, but before we go back in time, let's hear the opinions being expressed by some of the leaders in Yoruba land regarding what occurred in Ibadan on Saturday.
A constitution will lead us nowhere. Openly now thing to President Tinubu to bring it out and open it for Nigerians to discuss about it. In terms of policing, in terms of intelligence gathering, the personnel so far, there's a shortage. he needs to establish very urgently state police, because the state police will be people drawn from the area. They know the culture, they know the norms, they know the do's and don'ts in the area, and information gathering would be much faster. They don't teach civics, they don't teach history. So how would these young men be able to sensibly handle such discussions? We need to revisit the programs you have for these children. If they had been taught the history, they would have known the consequences.
Yes, that was Chief Bode George, a chieftain, a former governor, a former leader of the PDP, and elder statesman. I'm talking about the security implications of issues like this. When issues like this arise, you have to contextualize it in terms of where it is happening and what is happening. Now, in terms of history, going back a little bit in time, 1993, the Yoruba people apparently believed so that they were robbed of an election, won fair and square by one of their own, a leading light in Yoruba land, and of course the leading light in the entire nation, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Of course, they joined hands with other progressive elements who believed that that was an unjust annulment. Yes, the word was annulment that was used by Babangida. And of course, the nation virtually ground to a halt. If you lived in any of the big cities, Lagos especially, and of course, Lagos remains even till tomorrow the economic nerve center of Nigeria. Lagos ground to a halt. I recall that a trip from Lagos Island in broad daylight to Ikeja that will probably take you quite a while. We were driving from Lagos Island to Ikeja in 15, 12 minutes. People of non-Yoruba extraction, especially Easterners, departed Lagos en masse. And of course, up till 1999, when the military left the stage, it was the consensus that the presidency, as a matter of appeasement, should go to the Southwest Yoruba nationality on a platter of gold. Well, you cannot even call it on a platter of gold because lives were lost, limbs were lost, destruction, deprivation that took place. People died, demonstrations and all of that, and economic ruination that was visited on some people. And it was a consensus that the presidency should be handed as a matter of compensation to the Yoruba people, Yoruba nationality of the Southwest. So when these guys surfaced at the state secretariat in Ibadan Saturday morning and the news filtered out, the question people were asking is this the way? Is this the way Yorubas do their thing? And the consensus is that no, if they didn't do that in 1993 to 1999, that without firing a shot over a period of 6 years, yet they still fought. And the presidency was, as a matter of compensation, handed over to them. Why would they now go to this extreme now? Of course, we had Professor Banji Akintoye, the man who went to the United Nations with the Yoruba agitation, and of course, the militant wing of it, led by Sunday Igboho, which actually made him to have to escape from Nigeria when the DSS came after him. And they denied vehemently any linkage or connection with that. But when the video of Aduko Onitiri Abiola came out into circulation, it was apparent that this is a solo run. And from what I saw and gathered about those who participated it is apparent that quite a number of them, and if I can recall the words of the Special Advisor on Security, Fatai Osheni, he actually said these guys, most of them are on cheap drugs. And of course, the effect of the drugs will, or whatever they took will wear out. By now, they will understand the enormity of what they got themselves into. Of course, there are various levels of complicity. I'm sure, like even military coups, some are just saying, let's go, and they join them, and they discover they're taking part in a coup. If it fails, well, God help you. But in some cases, they have succeeded. Well, this time around, of course, it was not even meant. I doubt if that was intended to succeed. Here they are now, in custody. If you want to put it in succinct legal terms, that was treason. Yes, I've not heard the word being deployed and all of that, but apparently, if you say you want to hoist a flag on Nigerian soil and you're talking about something that is prohibited, that may amount to treason. Yes, I've not heard. But the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Prince Dr. Ilade, also held a press conference in which he described it as an act of terror. Believe you me, what if matters had gotten out of hand? What if things had escalated? What if? A lot of things could have gone wrong. What if we do not even know what they had? What if they were going to detonate some stuff? What if they were going to... Anything could have happened. What if? What if? What if? So many what ifs are out there. But for now, of course, things certainly are under control. The entire state, Ibadan, the state and Yoruba. Of course, security has been beefed up in other southwest states. And of course, that is being taken care of. And we have Fatai Osheni, the essay on security, Special Advisor Security.
Intelligence may not be 100% sometimes, but while they commenced their movement, there was a kind of information that was gotten. So there was an information that was gotten that some people in their numbers were trying to come out, and that made the police intelligence people to be on their trail. And that, of course, explained why the dislodgement was immediate.
All right. So what's your...
All right, that's Fatai Osheni, Special Advisor on Security. He highlighted the place of intelligence, and this time around, not just intelligence, credible intelligence, and credible intelligence in which was deployed, and immediately after the police got that intelligence, they were on the trail of those agitators. And of course, as soon as they landed, before they could, that's why I was saying, what if, what if, what if, what if, they could have detonated stuff and all sorts of things. But thank God for that credible intelligence that was available to the police, and not just available, but which they acted on promptly. That was why they were unable to do much damage. Well, kudos to the police, and the place of intelligence and security can never be overemphasized. Well, I, for one, believe, well, the Commissioner of Police paraded 20, some of them today, and they will be doing due diligence in terms of processes. We'll leave that to them, and as they go on with that, eternal vigilance is the price they say you pay for liberty. This is democracy, or this is civil rule. Some people would rather call it civil rule, and not yet uhuru, not yet democracy. But be it democracy, be it civil rule, nobody wants a disruption. Therefore, eternal vigilance is the price that we pay for liberty. Not until you lose your liberty will you know, will you know that liberty is priceless. Therefore, don't think that the security aspect of our life is for the police, is for the operation boss, is for Motekun alone. No. Security is hinged on intelligence, and not just intelligence, credible intelligence. I perfectly understand that there is a gap, there is a trust gap, there is a deficit of trust between the people and the security agencies. But in our own interest, it is important that we provide intelligence, which you call information, to the security agencies. Like a governor will say, if you see something, say something. And of course, the security agencies say they will do something. So, Ibadan, this sprawling city of Ibadan, is back to business as usual. Yes, on my return, we're going to be talking about the Israeli-Hamas, well, let's just call it Middle East, the escalation that we are witnessing in the Middle East. And what started out on October 7th between the Israelis and Hamas, not even the entire Palestinian enclave. Yes, let's take a look at that. Because there are implications, and I say direct implications for Nigerians. Because with the involvement of Iran now, front to direct involvement of Iran, there are implications for Nigeria. I'll be back shortly.
Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to.
Yeah, thank you so much for staying with us. Solutions 93.9 FM is the station. And of course, it is political updates this Monday afternoon, the 15th day of April. Yes, let's now move. Of course, it's political update. we're moving into the global space. And we're moving into global space because this may have a direct impact on Nigeria, implications for Nigeria. On October 7, the Hamas attacked the Jewish state of Israel. Of course, killing well over 1,000 of them. And right from that day, the Jewish state of Israel has launched an attack on the, Gaza specifically. That does not constitute the whole of Palestine because there is still other parts that constitute the whole of Palestine. But targeting Hamas, that is the enclave of the Hamas. Well, since October, of course, hostages were taken. Hundreds of hostages were taken. And Israel has been on this case since October 7, visiting Gaza with destruction, monumental destruction, and with over close to 40,000 dead now. And of course, hunger spreading. In fact, it is worse than hunger. It is moving beyond hunger into something of starvation. Well, and of course, the Jews, the Israelis are now allowing food to come in from Rafah as it is required. They are stripping and scrutinizing everything. But the new dimension to it, of course, there is Hezbollah to the north in Lebanon. You know, random acts of confrontation. But sometime last week, the state of Israel did go out of its way and hit the Iranians in Syria. 2 top generals were killed. And in response to that, over the weekend, Iran launched a barrage of ballistic missiles and drone attacks against Israel in hundreds. They announced it with fanfare, and of course, the United States quickly and the UK quickly moved in, you know, to help shield the state of Israel. And of course, there is this defensive weaponry that Israel has built over the years, with the help of the United States. It is called the Iron Dome. That Iron Dome neutralizes. It is an anti-missile dome. It neutralizes fire missiles at Israel. Of course, they are activated to shoot down those missiles or to attack anything that is going to attack Israel. They shoot it down, neutralize it before they come into spaces where they can harm citizens of the Jewish state. So when Iran launched this barrage of attacks, of course, the Royal Air Force of the United Kingdom helped neutralize some. The United States helped to neutralize some. And in fact, except for one, in which one 7-year-old girl was wounded by shrapnel resulting from the explosion. That was the only incident, in spite of about well over 300 drone attacks and ballistic missiles that were fired from Iran. That was the only incident. Yes, that 7-year-old girl is in critical condition. But of all, you know, the ballistic missiles and everything that was fired, that is the only incident that is recorded. Israel is well protected. But in spite of the fact that Israel did not suffer any serious damage, Israel is planning to launch a retaliatory attack against Iran. Of course, the United States has warned Israel that it should not launch a retaliatory attack, or that it will also not support Israel in any retaliatory attack. But of course, we are well aware that the state of Israel does not need anybody's support to actualize And when Israel retaliates, Israel will be retaliating clearly out of proportion. It is an opportunity for the state of Israel to get back at Iran. You're not going to forget easily decades back when Israel attacked Iran's nuclear reactor and destroyed that nuclear reactor even to the foundation. Now, with this attack, Israel will certainly grab the opportunity and hit back at Iran. What will be Israel targeting? What and what will Israel be targeting? We wait, and we hope that there will be no escalation. I was thinking over the weekend, I said to myself, the theater of war, is the theater of war moving from Europe? Will the theater of war for the Third World War, will it be the Middle East? And that is so close to Africa. Why should the theater of war move from Europe? You know, global warfare, why should it move from Europe to the Middle East? And of course, the Middle East, we just have Middle East right ahead of us there. That is too close for comfort. What are the implications of any conflict between Iran and Israel? Well, in Nigeria, there is the misconception that the state of Israel, who are Jews, there is that misconception that because Christ came from that area, they are Christians. Let me say it categorically that the people of Israel are not Christians. The people of Israel are not Christians. In fact, recently, there was an attempt to pass a law against the conduct of Christians. So, but in Nigeria, there is a misconception. We attach Israel to Christianity. So, when there's a confrontation, and let me just say on the part of Iran, in Iran, well, in the Muslim world, there is what they call the Shiites and the Sunnis. And it's just like a denomination, you know. The Sunnis seem to be in the majority in the other Middle East countries. But in Iran, the Shiites, the radical elements, they are in large numbers in Iran. And you will know that there's this El-Zazaki is a Shiite, and he has a large number of followership in the north. So anytime, and apart from El-Zazaki, there's also this notion that anything that Israel does against any Arab country is Christianity versus Islam. Citizens of Israel, I doubt if more than 2-3% of them are Christians. Equating Israelis with Christianity is absolutely wrong. Therefore, when there's a crisis between Iran and the Jewish state, the reaction in some parts of Nigeria thinking that it's a conflict between Islam and Christianity is a wrong and fallacious notion. But they will still do what they will do. The moment there's a conflict, you will see them gather, demonstrate, burn flags, and sometimes, you know, we have fatalities. And of course, there will be cause for Nigeria to sever relations with the state of Israel. Since the Arab-Israeli conflict started long ago, that has even affected what Nigeria should have benefited from in terms of relationship with Israel. Any relationship by Nigeria with Israel is viewed from relating with a Christian state. Certainly, Israel is not a Christian nation. They are, yes, Judaism is what their faith is all about, not Christianity. I'll be back shortly.
it had to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria?
Yes, the war. We have seen so much conflict in the Middle East. So much conflict, too much conflict. And there's no end. There may be no end in sight. But as we speak, efforts are being made to reach a truce. Hamas is demanding head of war to start of deal. Well, you see, there's another complication to the ongoing war. The Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, has his own politics is local. He's fighting a war, but he has his own local politics to deal with. He's been the longest serving Israeli Prime Minister. But as we speak, he just underwent a surgery, I think last weekend, while war rages. But his fighting is for his own political survival. Those who are in alliance with his Likud party, they are demanding that Hamas must be wiped out. That is the condition for which they will continue to support him. And I think Benjamin Netanyahu himself is not a moderate. The only moderate that proposed a two-state solution was assassinated by extremists in Israel. Now we have this situation. An extremist, of course, the Hamas are extremists, but of course we have an extremist prime minister too. They have not. The only thing they're waiting for is to announce the date to move into Rafah. They said there are some brigades of Hamas left in Rafah, and Rafah is the only place where Palestinians are in their numbers now. Yet the United States is shouting, "Don't move in to troops to Rafah." But he said, the Netanyahu is saying, "No, we are going to do it." I suspect that Netanyahu is apparently using this war also as a tool for his own political survival. I tell you, when you hear about war sometimes is not war as you see it. War is also business. Using war as a political tool to resolve his own domestic political issue. Yes, I see Benjamin Netanyahu doing that. Where will all of this lead us? Where will all of this lead Israel? Where will it lead the strange part of it is that Israel is fighting the Hamas, not the Palestinians. But of course, it makes forays into other places too. We have not even heard anything from the leader of the Palestinian Authority, Abbas, But of course, he would not want anything good to happen to Hamas because they are in competition with Hamas. So, everybody is playing all sorts of games, deadly political transactions. But where will all of this lead Israel? Where will it lead Hamas? Definitely, there's no doubt about the fact that the military operations of the last 6 months has done a lot of damage to the operational capability of Hamas. But Netanyahu says Hamas will be wiped out. Well, the sponsors of Hamas and Hezbollah is Iran. And of course, the leadership of Hamas, they are not in Gaza. They are either in Qatar or they're not even in Lebanon. Lebanon is too close. Israel can pick them up and hit them in Lebanon. Most of them are in Qatar. Now, can Israel wipe out Hamas? And even if you wipe out Hamas, of course, some other groups will fill that void. What is the solution? How do you find peace? How do you find peace in that region? How do you find peace? The cost of war, the destruction that has been visited on Gaza is monstrous. Everywhere virtually turned into rubble. About 40,000 deaths now. 40,000 deaths. That considers security as first and foremost and everything. There will be consequences. This is the kind of consequences that come when you engage in what Hamas did on the 7th of October to Israel. But with what Israel is doing, will it bring peace? That is the big question. There must be a middle ground. There must be a middle ground. Well, Qatar, the United States, the big players, they're trying to find a resolution. I do hope a resolution that will bring peace to the Middle East, especially between Israel and our neighbors, will be found, because peace is essential and fundamental to human existence. It's a wrap on Political Update this Monday afternoon on Solutions 93.9 FM. It's been AYODEJI AJISOPE presenting with Victory Onyedikachi producing me. Thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless our union. Bye for now.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't